To recap, the Oregon Ducks victory 26-14 over Washington. Always a great day to throw down a Dubs down. Ducks, they get 392 total yards of offense today compared to 283 for Washington, holding that offense under 300 yards. 106 rushing yards for Oregon today, which is uncharacteristic considering what they've been able to do this year compared to the 154 to Washington. For passing yards, 286 for Oregon, 129 for Washington. But as I said in the first segment, it's just while we're used to seeing those bigger rushing yards for Oregon, and the passing game was pretty similar to what we've seen, as long as it's not raining and the weather isn't crazy, then just to see this team win it in a different way. And that's where I will go to Anthony Newman joining us here, former Oregon Duck NFL pro. Anthony, the fact that this Oregon team just knows how to win games in different ways, just it continues to amaze me.
Well, that feels great to see that win, that victory up there in Husky land.
Oh, I know you love it.
I mean, it's hard to win there. It really is. I mean, I've only won there once. No, I take that back. I've never won there, but I beat Washington once. But to win up there off that lake and, those crazy fans, it's tough to do. And, they really, protect home field advantage. And Oregon, they came out there and they took care of business. I mean, offense, defense, and again in special teams. But they were focused. They didn't get beat. They didn't beat themselves. That's one thing you look at. Most of the time when you look at two teams and one team's favored, if the team just plays and they're disciplined, they'll beat the other team. But all of a sudden start making mistakes and you start beating yourself, then you give that team some light, and now they have hope. They think they can win, and it didn't happen tonight.
Anthony, talk about the Oregon defense just absolutely kicking the booty of Washington's offense, but specifically DeMond Williams Jr. tonight, a quarterback that when he's on, they are absolutely ruthless and score a lot of points. But the two picks at the end of the game by Dylan Thieneman and then the other one in the first half by Jaden Kennedy, they seemed like not only, were they intercepting the ball tonight and on their receivers, but they were hurrying the heck out of him. He was always on the run in the backfield, sacked him, not as many times as they did last year, 4 this year in their game. Yeah, so not as many as compared to last year. You want to see the same effort, but at the same time, I feel like all the times he was running around in the backfield, seems to me Oregon has his number for sure.
Well, 4 sacks is still a lot of sacks for one game. And if you're an offensive coordinator, you're talking to the offensive line saying, hey, protect a quarterback. 4 sacks, guys. Come on, don't do this. DeMond Williams, he's their key to their success. This guy is the captain of the ship. And when he's on, he's on. And tonight he wasn't on. He was 15 of 30. Only had 130 yards passing?
Yep.
And then 2 picks? You can't turn the ball over. I mean, I saw a lot of times he was throwing the ball. It was high, the thing was sailing, or it was in the ground. It wasn't his night, but maybe, Oregon's defense, the defensive line, they had a 4-man rush. They had a very controlled pass rush. They didn't have defensive ends flying up the hill, up the field, creating lanes for DeMond to get through. So he was forced to stay in the pocket. And I believe this. I knew they're going to try to do something like that to keep DeMond in the pocket because he's about 5'11", 5'10", and it's hard to see down the field. I'm not saying being short and being a quarterback is not it's not a good thing. It's hard because the guys in front of you, the offensive linemen and defensive linemen, are tall, so it's hard to look down those windows. And so he struggled from the pocket. He will hurt you outside of the pocket when he starts running and creating time for the receivers to get open or run a different route. That's when he's dangerous. He was sitting in the pocket the whole time. They say, Oregon's defensive lines were like, okay, look, I'm going to rush a little bit, but I'm going to hold. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to wait till you take off and run and then maybe try to get a sack or a tackle for loss. And they did a great job all night keeping him in the pocket.
So I have to ask you about now with the season coming to a wrap, regular season at least, going into this year, it felt like a lot of Duck fans, followers, people that know this team were looking for a good season like what we saw. But I think 11-1 playoff berth, potentially right now, if it were to play out, maybe a 5 seed. Are all bets off at this point as far as like, well, however the season ends, I'm just happy that's what we did this year. 11-1 playoff berth, or hey, no, you're 11-1. I mean, you finished right up there at the top of the Big Ten. You didn't make the championship game this year, but neither did Ohio State last year. They were the 5 seed. They won it. I mean, is there any reason not to say or not to be upset if this team doesn't win a national championship, just considering what they have shown this season? Or are you falling in the camp of, you know what, I'm just happy with how this year played out?
Well, first of all, the season's not over, so they still have an opportunity, and that's what you ask for. Give yourself an opportunity to keep playing, and you can keep controlling your own destiny. And if right now you're 11-1, if somebody is not happy or they're questioned 11-1, they need to be slapped. I'll tell you another thing, if they're not happy that Oregon doesn't win a national championship, they should be slapped. Hey, if they're in the same conversation of Ohio State playing in the national championship, Notre Dame playing in the national championship, we know Oregon's up there. They have an opportunity. It is hard to do. It is hard to win a national championship. So let's be happy that we're knocking on the door. Mm-hmm. And every year we keep knocking on the door. Eventually, we're going to kick that damn door down. Okay, we're gonna knock that thing down and host up the trophy. It's going to take time. You got players that are hurt. You're missing your key receivers, your top dogs, and you're still 11-1. Are you kidding me? You better be happy. Why would you be upset about this or question, well, it's either a national title or bust? Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm so proud of this football program. I am so happy to be an alum, to be a fan, sit here and watch the games, and sometimes, they fail, which is only once this season, and the other times they succeed. So, yes, I want them to win a national championship. Yes, that would be great. If they don't make it, there's next year. Let's keep going. That's my thoughts.
Hey, Anthony, one more question, this time actually about Washington's defense. Oregon did not do well running the ball today. I think any shred of success they had, Joe pointed it out in our first segment, was more so because of Dante Moore kind of having some short 6-7 yard runs here and there. One for a pretty short touchdown in the first half there. And actually, I think near the end of the game, if he would have been able to keep the ball like I think he wanted to, but Noah Whittington just kind of had like clamps on it and wasn't going to give that up when they were on that fourth down. I think it was like one trying to basically just run the clock out. I think he would have run it in just on his own for a touchdown. But outside of that, there was just no success for Oregon running the ball today. That's Washington's strong point for sure, but I don't remember the last time Oregon struggled so far or so much running the ball. Does that give you pause, or is that just something that Oregon beat them through the air today and Washington did what they normally do, and you just kind of got to move on from that?
Well, I think you need to give credit to Washington's defense. I mean, they're giving up about 107 yards per game. They're the run defense, so they are very stout against the run. That's what they do. In Oregon, they hit a train tonight, trying to run the football. The plays didn't work, and so you give them credit. But here's why Oregon is so good, because they'll beat you somewhere else. Okay, they'll beat you with the quarterback. They'll beat you with tight ends. They'll beat you with receivers, which are not even the best receivers on the field or in the program. And that's why it's hard to defend this offense, because, yes, you got to still take care of the run. You got to stop the running game. But you still got to stop everybody else. You still got to stop number 18, Sadiq, the tight end. You still have to stop Malik Benson, number 4, the speedster receiver. You still got to deal with Dante Moore, who touches the ball every offensive snap. And let's talk about the offensive line for Oregon. So you stop, a department. You really said, hey, we're going to stop the running game and let's make them beat us somewhere else. Well, Oregon can do that. A lot of teams can't do that, but Oregon can do that.
Well, Anthony, it's time for you to get some rest. Rest up for the next couple of weeks. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
What's nice is this is not the last time we will be talking, huh?
No, it won't. No, I can't wait till we start talking again about, whoever the opponent will be. It's going to be interesting, right? We still got some games to play, tonight, but I'm looking forward to it. And Oregon did what they needed to do.
Yes, sir.
They're controlling their own destiny, and I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I think that everybody is stoked to see what is to come, and the elephant in the room, a potential home playoff game against insert ACC champ insert group of 5 champs. So, but yeah,
Can't wait.
Seriously, it's going to be a scene down there at Autzen. We will catch you in about 3 weeks, my man. You have a great night, and thanks for jumping on.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
That is Anthony Newman, former Duck, NFL pro, giving his thoughts on tonight's win against Washington, 26-14 Ducks victory.